Welcome. My name's Ricky Shepherd. I'm the Community Engagement Communications Manager, and this is Andrew Eel, our CEO. Just to let you know that this session is being recorded. And if I could just get you to use the chat section just to let us know what organisation you're from. If you can find the chat section, otherwise just unmute yourselves and say hello. We know some of you already, but it's good to know what organisations you're from just so that we can help answer your questions. So I'll let you keep doing that and we'll get started. So we just want to acknowledge, we begin today by acknowledging the Wadawurrung people, the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, and we pay our respects to their elders past and present. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. Andrew.
Thanks, Ricky. Hope everyone can see the presentation on the screen. Great, I'm getting some nods there, that's wonderful. For those of you that have either applied for grants through the Ballarat Foundation before or had a connection with our organisation, thanks for coming along again today. We'll try and make this part of the presentation fairly quick so that we can give as much time as possible for questions at the end. So what does the Ballarat Foundation do? We've been operating in one form or another here in Ballarat for more than 40 years. We run programs such as the L2P Learner Driver Program, Volunteering Ballarat, Dolly Parton Imagination Library. But a priority aspect of our business is really the philanthropic work that we do. So encouraging people to donate to our organisation so that we can distribute back by way of grants to great community and not-for-profit organisations that are responding to community needs in Ballarat, certainly aligned to the strategy that the Ballarat Foundation publishes. These figures are actually about 12 months old now. Last year we distributed more than $400,000 worth of grants and distributions back to the Ballarat community. We are a parochial organisation. All of the funds that we use for the betterment of our community. We delivered almost 4,000 books, free books to young people through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library scheme. We have more than 1,000 direct grant beneficiaries and many thousands more indirect beneficiaries from our grants program. More than 70 young people achieved a licence, and we have a significant back-to-school voucher program which supports young people to continue their education. In terms of what is available through this year's Community Impact Grants program, which opened on Monday, we have two tiers of funding available. Tier 1, $15,000 grants. We have a maximum of 5 of those grants available in this year's program. The Tier 2 grants, which are up to $3,000, have a reduced requirement around the application process. So if you've got a smaller scale project that you want to get off the ground, that's probably, well, it's a smaller scale project. We don't require the same level of information through the application process as opposed to the $15,000 grants. Our Community Impact Grant focus areas this year are the same as the previous years. We have identified through our vital signs data analysis project, as well as talking to people in the community about what local needs exist. And there's many more that exist outside these areas, but these are the 4 that we're going to focus on for this year's grants. So responses to food insecurity, responses to mental health, We want to support young people, so projects that support disadvantaged, vulnerable young people in our community, and young people is anywhere from birth to age 18. And then we have a specific focus on Wendouree and Delacombe for projects that support responses to community members that live in those suburbs. We also have the separate Peter Amor Sports Participation Grants available again this year. It's projects that aim to improve access to sports for young people, again, disadvantaged or vulnerable young people up to the age of 18. And there are grants available up to $5,000 in that category. There's only $10,000 available across that program this year. The Ballarat Innovation Grant is an ongoing grant program, so it's open for applications at any time from charitable organisations. So you must be a charity to apply for Ballarat Innovation Grant. Last year, and Ricky will talk to this a little bit, we actually identified 2 projects to support through the Ballarat Innovation Grant program, and we'll be providing $150,000 to those projects over a couple of year periods. If anyone wants to talk about the Ballarat Innovation Grant program, it's best to contact us directly, and you can see the email address there on. We will provide a copy of this presentation as well as a recording of the presentation on our website, so that you don't, if you miss something through the presentation today, you'll be able to circle back. This year, for the first time, we're also offering grants to the communities of Wimmera and Southern Mallee. In the past 12 months, the Ballarat Foundation's fostered a relationship with the former Wimmera Primary Care Partnership, and there is now a substantial fund that is set up to support projects in the Wimmera and Southern Mallee. This year, we'll have grants up to $5,000 available for health and mental health responses for those communities.
Okay, so I'll just give you a couple of examples of some of the programs that have been funded. These are the ones that were funded last year, actually. So the Ballarat Innovation Grant, this is the ones that Andrew was referring to before. The Community Care Centre, I've just put some photos up because I think for the visual people, I'm a very visual person, I like to see. So this is the Community Care Centre Ballarat. They have got a massive warehouse and where they keep household items so that then they can help people get back on their feet for whatever reason, and provide furniture and pots and pans and everything that they'd need to set up their home. The community impact grants, I'll let you have a little read through those. I think we have some people with us today from some of those programs, and this is an example of one of those programs. This one's A Better Life for Foster Kids. They pack up little suitcases with pajamas and toothbrushes, and some people hand knit those teddy bears and dolls and blankets, and it's for kids who for crisis situations, so that they've got something to have on their first night away. It can be pretty scary, and they've just got some little comforts there. We've also funded these ones last year. These are the ones that fell into that larger distribution, except for Ballarat Neighbourhood Centre. Go to the next slide. This is Goldfields Education. We went and had a chat with Nick, who's playing the guitar there, about their program. It's a really interesting program where the teachers actually go to the kids. So it's kids who are really who aren't engaged in regular schooling, and their aim is just to get them to a year 10 level and really to teach them life skills, driving skills, and get them to be able to be independent. And the main aim is to keep them out of the justice system, basically. So it's a really great program that they're doing there. These ones were the programs funded by the Peter Amor Sports Participation Fund. And if we have a look at the next slide, you'll see the little kids from the Ballarat Lawn Tennis Club. So they're all disadvantaged kids in some way who get to go and do tennis every Saturday morning. It's a great program. They have a lot of fun. They're learning a lot of skills, not just tennis skills, but communication skills, and really just having an opportunity that they might not have had. All right, how to apply.
Okay, so let's just see if I can.
I'll show you the our website and the Good Grants platform, which is how you will apply.
So can everyone see the website now on the shared screen? Yes, getting nods. This is working well. So there's a couple of ways that you can apply through our grants portal. There is a link on the slider here on our website that you can click through, find out more there, or you can go to the tab up the top here through grants and how to apply. On the how to apply page, there is a précis of each of the grants programs, and there are links to the fund guidelines or the grant guidelines and budget templates. You will need to review the guidelines before you apply. There is a great deal more specific information that sits in those grant guidelines that will really help you determine whether or not your project is eligible, first of all, for the program, and how it might how your application might respond to those guidelines. Just understand that when our community committee sits down and starts the assessment process, they are trying to match what is in our guidelines with what you put in your application. So the tighter that you can match those two documents, the greater chance of success you will have in your application. So you can see here, there's links under the Community Impact Grant programs, the guidelines, the budget, and an Apply Here button. Same goes for the Peter Amor Sports Participation Fund. The Ballarat Innovation Grant guidelines are there with the contact information, and the Wimmera Primary Care Partnership Fund as well. We have other grant programs available. You can see there the Matthew George Young Stockman Award, that's not currently open. Make sure that you view the information on this page before you go ahead and start your application. To apply, just hit this wonderful little orange button here, and it will bring you to this platform. The Ballarat Foundation uses a grant platform called Good Grants. If you have applied in previous years, you will have had to register an account. Rather than create a new account, if you can't remember your password, you'll be prompted to do a password reset if you have applied previously. If you're a new applicant, however, you will need to register an account with Good Grants to be able to make an application. What you'll see on this entry page is, again, multiple ways where you can navigate from this page. So you can either log in or register over on this left-hand side, or you can go straight to the application, which is what I'm going to do today, to start an application for the Community Impact Grants program. Now I'm just going to log in here and hope that I can remember my own password. Okay. So this is the page. This is an application form page that you will see once you navigate to this point of the process. And if I scroll down here, you can see that there is there's information there about when grants open and close. Just a little slow. See there, you've got 39 days still left to make an application. I'm not going to go through every tab on the application form. This application form does change based upon the information that you provided. So you will get asked whether or not you're making a tier 1 or tier 2 application. Further through the form, you'll be asked about the status of your organisation. If you're a DGR1 organisation, if you're a not-for-profit organisation, if you have none of those things, how your project might respond in a charitable way to the guidelines. So there's really many different aspects of the form, which is why we won't go through it in detail one for one. It will be different dependent on the information you put in here. What I will just briefly show you though, you can download a copy of a blank application form. So if you're sitting here and you're going, oh, I need to fill out all of these pieces of information, you don't want to do that online. You want to get your application together and then go back into the platform and put it together towards the end of the process. Downloading a blank application form is a really good way of doing that. You'll be able to assess all the information that you need to bring together for your application rather than having to keep coming back to the Good Grants platform and navigating through each of the requirements. Back on the website page where we talked about some of the links, you will be required to provide a budget for your project, and we do prefer applicants that use the budget template that is provided back on our website. I'll just show you the page.
While Andrew's trying to find whatever he's trying to find, I'll also just point out that as you go with this form, you can save it as you go and then come back to it. So you don't need to sit down and fill it out all at once.
So this is the kind of box that you'll see where you can upload your financial details, you can upload annual reports, you can upload additional information to support your application. And Good Grants is great because it provides you obviously with a template that you need to follow for your application, but there's lots of handy hints that sit down the right-hand side of the application form as well, which will help you to determine. So this is a really good example. At the moment, we have projects are unable to be funded more than 3 years in a row. So if you're, there's a little note there to say if your project has not received funding from the Ballarat Foundation in the past 2 years, you can pick not applicable. So we try and give you some guidance through those notes in the form so that you have the capacity to fill in that information yourself. The person that fills out the form does not need to be the project contact, but if it is a different person, we ask that you provide that information on this page so that we have the right person. If there's any questions about your application at all, and this is a fairly common thing, we will do a sense check of your application before it gets to our assessment committee. So that contact person is really crucial in terms of the person that might be able to respond to any queries that you have around your application. You can get somebody, if you've got an administration team, if you've got a volunteer that's pulling the application together, they can still do that by registering an account, but the person that is the contact person needs to have a full understanding of the project information. So once you go through this process, you can come back to it at any time. You just need to have it finalised before 5 p.m. on the cut-off date, which is April the 28th. If you have problems with the Good Grants platform, technical problems, if you can't access the platform, if it's down, just let us know. Particularly if those problems occur close to the deadline, we'll try and troubleshoot any issues that arise through that process. So I think that's all we'll show on Good Grants. Okay. It's now time for questions. If you just want to raise your virtual hand, that might be the easiest way for us just to manage what happens next.
Otherwise, just unmute yourself and ask your question.
I'll jump in. Hi, it's Ryan. Thanks for the presentation. I'm just wondering, with the community impact grant, what it sounded like if you didn't have charity status, that was okay. You just needed to explain how the project itself was charitable. And I guess the second question to that is, if you're applying as an organisation without charitable status, can you apply through an auspice? And is that beneficial, or does it not really matter?
Short answer to both those questions is yes, Ryan. So there is, however, different bars that you need to reach. For instance, around the Ballarat Innovation Grant, you must be a registered charity to be eligible for that program. There is a lower bar for the general community impact grant programs. It's not a disadvantage to have an auspice for your organisation. However, that auspice organisation will be required to meet all of the, I guess, regulation that we impose around a successful grantee in terms of reporting and acquittal. Any other questions? Kylie.
Hi, it's Kylie from Uniting. Thank you. That was a great presentation. On the consecutive program, how many years running? For example, our Breezeway program has been really generously supported, I think, for the last 3 years. So obviously that's off the table for this year. But our Meals for Change program, I don't think received funding last year, but did the previous year. Is that eligible for application for this year now because it's had a little break from your support? Is that how it works, or?
Yeah, correct, Kylie. So it's consecutive years that the guidelines state is the measure that we use to assess eligibility.
Thank you. That's great.
Any other questions? If anyone does have questions and you prefer to have that face-to-face or solo, our team here at the foundation I'm more than happy to speak to you on that basis through the application process. Just understand that the operational team are not involved in the decision making around community impact grants. So if you're looking for advice about the likelihood of a project being successful or not, we probably can't get to that level for you, but we can certainly help you understand the guidelines and respond to any of the technical questions that you might have. So please do feel free to reach out. info@ballaratfoundation.org.au is the best way to make that initial contact with us, and one of our team will respond that way.
So either everyone's getting really used to this process, or our presentation today was just so good because we only had 2 questions. I'm going with the latter.
Well done.
The presentation for sure.
Okay, thank you so much everyone for joining us today. We look forward to receiving your applications. Yeah, as I said, if there's any queries, please let us know, but thanks once again.